Good evening, everybody. My name is Jen, the Caffeinated Crafter. Today is Tuesday, October the 1st, 2024, and welcome back to my FlossTube channel. If you're new, I'd like to welcome you. This is a channel where I talk about all my cross stitch, and if you're returning to my channel, welcome back. Thanks so much for watching and following and supporting all the craziness that I do. This is going to be a little bit of a FlossTube extra. I'm going to be showing whips, but it's not like a weekly update. This is going to be my September wrap-up, you could say, where I talk about how many stitches I did and show you what the projects look like at the beginning and the end, from the beginning to the end of the month. Couple things I'll be doing. I know one thing I'm going to try to do for October stitching is if I'm working on something that's in Pattern Keeper, when I work on it for the first time in the month of October, I'm going to try to remember to write down the starting percentage so that at the end of the month I can say this was what it started at with a percentage and this is what it's at now. I don't have that for this month because I didn't really write that down. I could do the math and calculate it out, but I ain't got time for that. This is going to be a little bit of a mini whip parade. I stitched on 44 different projects in the month of September. I did a total stitch count of 32,831 stitches. Yes, I know that's I know that's a lot. I don't know how I did that. Well, I do know because I don't have a life. I just come home and I cross stitch. But I did 32,831 stitches in the month of September, worked on 44 different projects, and 8 of those projects had 100 stitches on them, and 5 projects I did over 1,000 stitches. The one that had the most amount had a total of 7,879 stitches. So I'm going to show you these projects in stitch count order from the lowest amount of the least amount of progress to the most amount of progress. Mr. Whiskers, hey, let's see if he comes over here. Mr. Whiskers, come here, baby. Come here. He's coming. Hi. Oh, come here, big boy. All right, quick cameo from Mr. Whiskers. Say hello. Hello, my boy. Hey, baby. Oh, he's my baby. I love him so much. It's Mr. Whiskers, my big boy. And then here's my talker, my drama queen, Gracie Lou. Figured I'd go ahead and show her too. There's my Gracie Lou. Yeah, baby. She's always talking. She's a talker. See, she's not hurt. She's crying like she's hurt, and she's not hurt. She's fine. I'm hurt. I was working in my yard over the weekend cleaning up after the hurricane, and I got a blister on my thumb from the rake. That's okay though. Okay. All right. So the first project I'm going to show you, this one had 100 stitches, and this is from cutebrodery.com. Now I got cat hair on my face. Cutebrodery.com, and this is Peacock Gnome. This is what it's going to look like when it's done. I'm holding it back here because that's the whole thing. Cats. Oh my God. Anyway. There we go. Got it. So cutebrodery.com. This is part of my, so real quick, so my temperature, let me back up for a minute. So I have my weekly polls, I have my whip of shame, and I have my temperature stitching and my Monopoly game. So just quick recap, I pull projects every week to work on. I have 4 focus pieces for the month. One of them is the Haid Sal, one is Honeymoon Sunset, one is my son's piece, Yippee Ki-Yay, and then the 4th one is the Whip of Shame. And that's an old project that's over 10 years old that I do like 100 stitches a day on for that month. And then I switch projects out for the Whip of Shame because I got like 15 of them. And then my temperature stitching, I have 10 projects assigned to the numbers 0 through 9. I look at the weekly temps. I take the second digit of the temperature. So if the temperature high of the day is 89 degrees, whatever project is assigned to the number 9, I put 100 stitches on. And then when it hits 1,000, I'm gonna switch them out. Like when it gets worked on 10 times, I switch it out for something else. And then my Monopoly game, that's a whole other thing. I have a video on it, a few videos back. You can go check it out. But I'm playing Monopoly. I have whips assigned to the properties, and the stitch counts are based on where we're at with the rounds in the game, if they are purchased, if it's paying rent, what have you. I have a whole video explaining that. So again, Peacock Gnome. This got 100 stitches, and this is one of my temperature pieces. This is what it looked like at the beginning of the month. And here is where it's at now. I really enjoy working on this thing. I'm not really going to talk too much about the projects themselves because that's going to take forever. I'll save that for the weekly videos and my whip parade at the end of the year. But that's where that one is. If I sat here and talked about each and every whip, like individually, oh my God, we'd be here all night long. I don't want to be here all night long. I haven't eaten dinner yet. And you know what? Hang on. Let me pull this chair over here so I have somewhere to put these projects. There we go. Okay. All right, next up is Summertime. This is from Stitch Rovia. I got this on Etsy. And this is what it's going to look like when it's done. And this is one of my Monopoly pieces. Oh, the Peacock Gnome I'm doing with the call, I will say this part. The Peacock Gnome I'm doing with the Call for DMC on a 14 count Charles Craft, like a printed Ada that I picked up at Joann's. It comes in like different colors and it's printed, so it's like colored on one side, white on the other. And again, I just got that at Joann's. Okay, so Summertime, this is what it looked like at the beginning of the month. And this got 100 stitches. This is one of my Monopoly pieces. And I did my 100 stitches up here. And this is being stitched with the Call for DMC on a 16 count. None of my stuff is ironed, by the way. I don't iron. I don't even barely iron when it's done. I don't even know where my iron is, honestly. But anyway, 16, I think it's a 16 count white opalescent Ada. And I am currently sitting at 3,867 stitches done out of 9,416. I am at 41.07%. All right, next up is another Monopoly piece. And I think this one is going to be, is it this one? No, I showed this one. There's going to be a few whips that are going to be kind of like sneak peeks because I pulled them on my video on Friday and I worked on them over the weekend. So it'll be like new progress for you. But anyway, this one is not. This is Summer Sampler. Yeah, Summer Sampler from Cooler Design Studio. Artwork is by Sandy Orton. You can get the PDF at coolerdesigns.com. I am working off of a paper pattern. And like I said, this is one of my Monopoly pieces. I'm doing this with the Call for DMC 2/1 full cross on a 28 count tea-dyed Monaco. And this got 100 stitches on it for the month of September. And that is where I'm at with it so far. I really like these. Like the sampler pieces are some of my favorite ones. All right, next up is from Sugar Stitches Design. This is another one of my Monopoly pieces. And this is called Cupid's Cafe. And this is what it's going to look like when it's done. And I am using the Call for DMC 2/2 full cross on a 28 count even weave. I think it's in like the color baby pink. I got it on 123 Stitch. But this got 100 stitches on it. And it was mainly like up here. The white on the video is you can see it, actually you can kind of see it a little bit better right now. In person, you can see it just fine. But on the video, it's kind of hard to see. Camera, that's what I was trying to say. On the camera, it's a little hard to see, but right now I think you can see it pretty good. But this got 100 stitches. And I know that there's going to be people out there that are like, oh, it's only 100 stitches. It's like, why don't you just put that on something else? Well, you will see as we get further along what that 100 stitches here and there can actually do regarding your progress. Okay, next up is another 100 stitch piece. I told you I have 8 projects. I got 100 stitches. So that's kind of going to be like, But this is one of my, is this Monopoly or Temperature? I think this is a Monopoly piece. This is Autumn Favorites from Shannon Christine Designs, and that is what it's going to look like when it's done. And I am doing this with a called for DMC on a 14 count chalkboard Aida. I don't know who it's from. I just picked it up on 123 Stitch. And that is where I'm at with it so far. My 100 stitches was right down here. I think this was Monopoly. Yeah, I think this was a Monopoly piece. So there's that one. As the Monopoly game progresses more, you're going to start seeing a lot more stitches on these pieces. So it'll be more exciting over the next few months as this stuff progresses even further. Okay, so next up is another gnome from cutebroidery.com, and this is Spa Gnome. That is what she's going to look like when she is done. And I want to say this is another 100 stitch piece. Hang on. Let me just double check. I wrote it all down. Yeah, this is another one that got 100 stitches. I'm doing it 2 over 1. Well, it's Aida, so 2 over 1 full cross on another one of those Charles Craft Aidas. This one is in the pink purple version. And see, that's the lighting kind of washes the fabric out, but it's really pretty. Like, it's a really pretty pink purple, but the lighting washes the fabric out. But that is where I'm at with it now. And this is one of my Monopoly pieces. I feel like I'm going through these so fast. Like, yeah. But I'm just showing you the before and after, telling you how many stitches I did for the month. Because I knew if I did this in a regular floss tube, my regular floss tube would be like 4 hours long. All right, so this is another Monopoly piece. And this one is Kit from Dimensions Gold Collection. And this is Cherry Blossom Creek. And that is what it's going to look like when it's done. It was designed by Sung Kim. So that's what that's going to look like. And I'm just using whatever came in the kit. And this one also got 100 stitches. Oh, this is going to be a sneaky peek. Yeah, this is a sneak peek. That's where I'm at with it now. So you have not seen this on an update because I just pulled this on Friday. Well, rolled it when I was playing my round of Monopoly. So you'll see this again at when I do my update video in 2 days on Thursday. All right. Next up is another sneak peek. This is Autumn Sampler, and this is from Cooler Design Studio by Sandy Orton. Hang on one second. I'm like dropping stuff. Hang on. Let me find the cover photo. Hang on. I have all 4 of the samplers started. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. And I am using the called for DMC on, same as the summer sampler, a 28 count tea-dyed Monaco. And this got, it's another Monopoly piece, and this got 100 stitches on it. So you have not seen this in a regular floss tube yet, but that's where I'm at with that. And I'll talk more about like why I stitched, where I stitched and everything when I show this in my update. But yeah, that's where that's at so far. Okay, so that was all my 100 stitches. Now we're moving on into the 200s. So next up is another Monopoly piece, and this is a kit from Artiste. Someone said how to say it, un pool. It's my chicken piece from Artiste. I don't speak French. Someone commented how to pronounce it, and I read it, and I was like, oh, okay. And I already done forgot. I think it's like un pool. I don't know. It don't matter. And so another sneak peek, because this was a new start. So I actually do not have an update, like a before photo for this. Let me think of how this went. And this got 200 stitches on it. So that's where that is. I did a upper left-hand corner start on that. Okay, next up is another Monopoly piece. And this is the Enchanted Reindeer Christmas Stocking from Heaven and Earth Designs. Yeah, the Enchanted Christmas Reindeer. This is a stocking from Heaven and Earth Designs. Artwork is by Donna Gelsinger. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. And it is 240 by 344. It has 87 colors. And I'm expecting as the game progresses that this will get a lot more stitches on it, because this is the piece I stitch on whenever somebody passes or lands on go. But one of my little tokens passed go, and I can never, nope, I showed this in my last video, and it got 200 stitches. That's the whole thing right there. Got 200 stitches up in the corner, right up here. And I am currently sitting at 11,380 stitches out of 55,903, and I am at 20.36%. Whenever this finally gets done, I will give it to one of my kids. And I have another stocking for the other one. So that is where that one is. So that one got 200. All right, next up is from Lola Crow Cross Stitch. You stay there. And this is the Haunted Library Cell from 2022. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. Pick this up on Etsy. This is one of my temperature pieces. I do not remember what number it's assigned to. I guess it doesn't really matter. But it got worked on 2 times in the month of September for the temperatures. So it got 200 stitches on it. I am doing it with the Call for DMC on, I think this is an 18 count Vintage Country Mocha by Zweigart, Ada. And that is where it's at so far. So I got my 200 stitches right up in this area right here. That's the whole thing, but that is where I worked. And just side note, I'm loving this little skeleton cat over here sleeping on the stairs. It's really cute. I like those books too, right there. I like those books. That's kind of cool. But yeah, my 200 stitches right there. So there's that. I think a lot of these so far have been either temperature or Monopoly. We'll get into the weekly pulls in a bit as I progress further. All right, so next up is Spanish Sampler. This is out of the book 101 Best Loved Designs from Cross Stitch and Country Crafts. And let me just find the photo of it real quick. I think it's on page 36. Yep. And there's a picture of it. And this is in two different things right now. It's one of my temperature pieces, but it is also I want to say it's also a Monopoly piece project, but I've only worked on it for the temperature so far. It has none of my tokens have landed on its property in Monopoly, but this got 200 stitches, right? Hold on. Spanish Sampler. Yes, this got 200 stitches on it. I'm using the called for DMC. I'm doing it 2/2 as directed because there's specialty stitches in this as well. But using 2 strands over 2 threads, and unless it's satin stitches. The satin stitches I'm doing with 3 strands. But that's where that is so far. So my 200 stitches has been all over here. So I'm hoping between Monopoly and the temperature stitching that this will get a lot more stitches in the month of October, because I really like this piece. All right, next up is James Dean. This is from Stitching Jewels. Let me tell you the size real quick. 170 by 240, and this is a monochrome piece. So I'm doing it in all black. And I am doing it 2 strands full cross on an 18 count Ada by Zweigart. Hazelwood, I think might be the color. I don't remember now. But this got 200 stitches on it. And this is a Monopoly piece. And so down here is where I was doing the 200. Yeah, this is a Monopoly piece. Down here is where I've done the 200 stitches, because this whole section here is like solid black stitching. So I was like, well, let me kind of try to knock some of that out. But this is where I'm at with it. So I am currently sitting at 4,792 stitches done out of 12,954. I am at 36.99%. Look at his face, not the wrinkles. There we go. Looks really good so far. I like it. All right. I have to keep everything in the bags. If I just like piled the projects up by the fabric, oh my God, you have any idea how much it would be to put away at the end of the video? Holy cow. Next up is another Monopoly piece, and this one is the Mermaids of the Season Stitch Along from Bella Filipina. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. This was a salve from last year that obviously I did not finish. I'm terrible at keeping up with stitch alongs 99% of the time. So this is a Monopoly piece, so it got 200 stitches on it. I'm using the called for fabric, which is a 28 count Even Weave in the color Singing in the Rain by Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers, and I'm using the called for threads, a combination of DMC and Krynic. And that's, well, let me do this. That's where I got my stitches in on the Summer Mermaid's tail right there, and some in the Krynic border. But that's where that is, and that's where I'm at with the whole thing so far. And this thing was finished last year. But yeah. So there's that. And I don't think this is available anymore, honestly, but I got the thread pack, the specialty thread pack, and the bead pack as well. Okay, next up is, this is a Halloween spell. So this is one of my pulls, like where I draw out of a basket. This is from Shannon Wasseliff. She is Shannon Christine Designs. Halloween spell, this one right here. I'm gonna end up doing both, but this is the one I started. So this is one of my new starts. So in my rotation, I have a rotation of, like, I pull a new start every week. The chicken piece, that was a new start because of Monopoly, but on my normal rotation, I have 5 starts going at a time. I do 3,000 stitches on them. Once they hit 3,000, they go into my closet and they go on vacation, and I replace it with a new start. This one here got 231 stitches on it for the month of September. I stopped because I need to do a video where I wash out the grid lines on this. I'm doing the called for threads on, I think this is like a 18 count easy count Ada. I bought this as a kit from Pain Free Crafts, so I got 2 pieces of fabric for both of those patterns, and it came with the threads and the beads. And so I need to wash the grid lines out of this fabric because all that's left is the metallic and the beads, and I don't want to wash the fabric when I put those in. So I have to wash that fabric. So I've only got 231 stitches on it for the month of September. So the next time it comes out, I'll have to actually wash the fabric so that I can do the rest of it. Okay, next up is another one of my temperature pieces, and this is a kit from Artiste called Welcome. And that's what it's going to look like when it's done. I'm just using whatever came in the kit. And for my temperature stitching, this has gotten a total of 300 stitches. That's where I'm at with it so far, and I've been putting the stitches all in this E right here. So the E is almost done. All I have left on the E is to finish back stitching it, and then I'm going to move over to the L over here. But that's where I'm at with that so far. I think my favorite part of this whole pattern so far has been this whisk, as that's all back stitched right there, and that was actually, it was like hard, like making sure I was in the right spot, but that was a lot of fun to do. I did that last year though, not this year, so it doesn't matter. So that got 300 stitches. I'm telling you guys, these little 100 stitches here and there, they add up. Okay, next up is my current Whip of Shame, and this is Walking to Town. This is a really old dimensions kit from that really should just say it right there, 1900s. This is from 1999, and this it was designed by Fred Swan. So this is my current Whip of Shame. So my goal I got started on it early. That's why it's in my September count. My goal will be to essentially do the equivalent of 100 stitches a day in the month of October to total 3,100 stitches, because there's 31 days in October. This is my October Whip of Shame. So you have not seen me work on this yet. So again, sneak peek to my regular viewers. And this so far has gotten 335 stitches, and it's all been down in this area right here. So you'll see a big progress photo when I do my October recap, because this will have 2,800 stitches more on this. I mean, you'll see it throughout the month, but when I do my October recap, the stitch count will be much higher on this. All right. Next up, oh, I forgot to put the cover photo back in that bag. Hang on. Okay, next up is another temperature piece, and this is from Hands On Design. This is called Let's Talk Stitching. And this is what it's going to look like when it's done. And I'm using the Call for DMC on a 14 count black Aida. I have the fabric all folded up, so don't freak out when you see this, because it's, hang on one second. There we go. I had like a notification. Oh my God, here's another one. Hang on. I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. So this has gotten a total of 400 stitches. All from just stitching on the number it's been assigned to when the temperature ends in that number. So this has gotten a total of 400 stitches. I've completed the word scissors and started on the pair of scissors that are going up and down right there. Okay, next up is another temperature piece, and this is the Twisted Band Sampler from Northern Expressions Needleworks. So everything that I show you, like with my tablet, these are all in Pattern Keeper. So like the next time I work on this, before I work on it, I will write down the percentage, but that's what it's gonna look like when it's done. This is the regular cross stitch version. They have two. There's regular cross stitching, and then there's a specialty stitch one. I didn't feel like doing the specialty stitches when I bought this pattern, so I bought the cross stitch version. And so yeah, before I work on this again, I will write down the starting percentage. I'm doing this 2/2 full cross on a 28 count white Jobelin. And this has gotten 400 stitches on it so far. I am currently, and I'm using the DMC. I'm not doing the silks, I'm doing the DMC. This has gotten a total, so I did 400 stitches on it for the month of September, and this is a total now of 920 stitches out of 21,989, and I'm at 4.18%. When you hear my total stitch count for the month of September, and then you hear the total stitch count for this piece, I could have essentially done this in the month of September and been done with it. Oh man. But you know, I like to switch it up. I like to change projects. I like to work on all the things. I don't want to limit myself to just one. If I absolutely had to, I would, but I don't have to, so I won't. Okay, next up is from Heaven and Earth Designs. And this was one of my weekly polls. I'm trying to look at my, oh, another sneak peek. This is Cosmic Bowling. Artwork is by Amy Stewart. I will try to refrain from gushing about how much I love this piece. Like the scene. I gotta find it on Pattern Keeper. Hang on one second. Oh Lord, here it is. This is 750 by 535. It has 89 colors. It is regular size, regular color. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. And let me just show it one more time because I feel like that was fast. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. I love this so much. I really, really do. I cannot wait to get more progress on this thing. I am doing it 1/1 full cross on a 32 count easy count Lugana. I don't change the threads on my full coverages, so it's going to be the call for DMC. I don't do color changes like that. But this has gotten 404 stitches on it. Yeah, 404 stitches this month, or for the month of September, and I am now at 2,404 stitches done out of 401,250, and I am at 0.60%. And I am converting this into you can't see it right now, but I am converting this into a diagonal. So my diagonal right now that I have to finish will be like this area right here. It'll end like that. And then as this continues, it'll start becoming more diagonally. Ooh, I could do the corners. Oh, I could convert this after I do that diagonal. I'm going to convert it to the corners like I'm doing with a few others because it's full cross. Oh, yeah. I just got to get that looking more like a diagonal, not like a mess. Oh, that's going to be exciting. Okay. Next up is my gingerbread Smalls 2022 from Twin Peak Primitives, and the one I'm going to show you, hang on, is I have two I'm going to end up showing you for this month, but the first one I'm going to show you is the gingerbread train. I'm trying to show these in the order that got the least amount to most amount of stitches, so I'm only going to show you the gingerbread train right now. I am doing this with the call for DMC 2/2 full cross on a 28 count even weave in the color Cornflower by Fiber on a Whim. Yeah, Fiber on a Whim. And gingerbread train got 410 stitches on it for the month of September. And this is one of my weekly pulls, and just whenever I pull it, I just throw some stitches on it, and I just kind of keep it in my work on till it's finished pile. So I don't know why I did it because there's still so much to do, but that's where that is so far. Okay. All right, I'm just gonna set this right here for now because I still have the other one to show, but I wanna show it in the stitch count order, so it's not showing, I'm not showing that one yet. Okay, next up, so we're starting to get into the higher stitch counts now, a little bit higher. Okay, next up is from It's So Emma, and this is Hello Summer. That is what it's gonna look like when it's done. This is another one of my pieces that I just work on till it's finished. And I'm currently dubbing it my penis popsicle piece because everything is looking very off. I got it as a kit, so it came with the DMC and a 14 count Navy Ada, and it got, well, this is, oh, you haven't seen this one, you haven't seen the latest. This got a total of 458 stitches for the month of September. I think I did them all the other day. So I got this popsicle, not the bottom part, but I got the popsicle here done. I got started on the rocket pop over here. I threw some stitches in on this ice cream cone over here. I got the white stitches here and here. Well, and then this one too. And then I started in on the H up there for hello. So yeah. All right, next up is one of my, and when I say weekly pulls, if you have not seen me before, I pull projects out of baskets. I pull one full coverage, one non-full coverage, either a new start or one of the 5 that I have in rotation, which is what I'm doing right now until they get 3,000 stitches, and then a work on till it's finished. And then I got Monopoly, Temperature, and 4 focus pieces. So when I say one of my weekly pulls, that's what I'm talking about. It's one of those ones I pull out of the basket. Next up is one of my weekly pulls, and this is from Heaven and Earth Designs. This is Springtime Splendor Max Color. Artwork is by Randall Spangler. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. It is 450 by 758. I have a gnat flying around here. It's bugging the crap out of me. And I'm doing it 2/1 tent stitch half cross on a 25 count easy count Lagana. I'll show you where, oh, you know what? I don't really have a pre-photo per se because of where I worked on it this month. I'll just show you this part right here because I went up to a corner on the right hand side and I started stitching in the diagonal. I'll show you the whole thing in a minute because this is not going to reflect my total stitch count on this. But for this month, I got 465 stitches on it. Look how many threads are there. Like just from working in this diagonal and parking like in the next one. It's crazy. But I currently have 16,084 stitches done out of 340,805 and I am at 4.72%. I had started in the middle working on that house. I can't see. Hang on. I'm trying to show you the whole thing and I can't see what I'm showing. So I started in the middle working on the house there. And then I had worked my way over and I was like working on this side over here, like right there. But then when I pulled this out in September, I was like, oh, let me go up to the top right-hand corner because it's easy to count with the grid lines. So I just counted up how many on Pattern Keeper, how many blocks it was to the top corner, verified my count about 4 times, and then started doing this in a diagonal. Because I'm on a diagonal kick right now, and I encourage everyone to work on their projects in a diagonal if it suits them. Try it out. You might not like it. And if you don't like it, that's okay. You don't have to like it. You try it, you don't like it, okay, well then go back to however you were stitching before. But I really enjoy it. I did it as, I think, why did I do it? I think I was watching like old episodes of like Blitz Stitch. Brian at Blitz Stitch, I was watching his old videos because his voice to me is very soothing. And so sometimes when I need to like decompress, I'll watch him or like Stitching Mommy or someone who's like kind of very calm with their stuff. And I was just like, man, I forgot how much I love working in the diagonal. And so I did. I started converting all my full coverages to diagonals. Next up is Cookie Time, and this is from Soda Stitch, and that is what it's going to look like when it's done. And I do have a cross stitch count for completion because I do have it in Pattern Keeper, but of course it doesn't count back stitch, so I won't have that. So the count is just a little bit off because it doesn't count back stitching. But I'm doing it with the called for DMC on a 28 count white. Hold on, let me start over. I'm doing it with the called for DMC 2/2 full cross on a 28 count white monoco. You almost have to say it in a certain order to make sure you remember everything. And so far this month, I have done, where'd it go? What am I doing? Cookie Time. 495 stitches on this, all in the candy jar right here. And I have done a total of 1,342 stitches out of 15,173, and I am at 8.84% with this piece. I really like the Soda Stitch patterns. They're a lot of fun to stitch on, and I like their back stitching. Let me show this real quick again. Like their whisk here, like not everything is like a full, like this one was fully back stitched, but like this cookie cutter had like a break in the back stitching. The whisk had a break in the back stitching. And I like that because it's, gives it like a, almost like a whimsical definition. Like the back stitching defines the piece, but it's more like whimsical and wispy with the back stitching kind of being scattered like that. I like that. Okay, next up is one of my pieces in the New Start rotation. And this is from It's So Emma. And it is called Autumn Spice. And that is what it's going to look like when it's done. I did pull it to work on it this week, but I have not worked on it yet. So far this month, I have done, I got this as a kit real quick. I got this as a kit. So this is a 14 count. The recommended fabric was a 14 count gray gingham. Is that what it, hang on. Pale gray gingham, 14 count Ada by Fabric Flare. That's where I'm at with it so far this month. And this has gotten 498 stitches on it. I feel like there was, oh no, that's what it was, never mind. I was like, I feel like there was something else. I remember there was 2 projects I did 498 stitches on, but it had been worked on in another week too, the other piece, so it has more. Okay, so once that thing hits 3,000 stitches, when I hit the 3,000 stitch goal for that, if it's not finished by then, I think it will be close to a finish, so it'll go into my work until it's finished pile. Okay, next up. This is one of my temperature pieces, and this is Gothic House by Stitching Jewels. Whenever I find it, here it is. It is a monochrome piece, 330 by 330, and that is what it's going to look like when it's done. That looks really cool. I like this piece a lot. I really like Stitching Jewels patterns. Like, she has really cool stuff. I'm doing it 1/1 full cross on a 25 count Vintage Stormy Night by Zweigart. And like I said, this is one of my temperature pieces. So whatever number it's assigned to, when the temperature ends in that number, I put 100 stitches on it. And so far for the month of September, this piece got 500 stitches. Not this month, and the last month, I don't know, whatever. Beginning of September to now, it's gotten 500 stitches on it. And I am at a total of 3,376 stitches done out of 28,708. And I am at 11.76%, and all of my stitches have been over here. So that's cool. Not gonna lie, when I started doing the temperature stitching and I was like 100 every time the temperature gets called, I was like, man, that's gonna be hardly nothing. But when you look at it like this, where it's like, well, I worked on it 5 times for 100 stitches each in the month of September. I got 500 stitches on it for the month. That's great. Okay, next up is from Heaven and Earth Designs. This is Birdhouse Gardens. Artwork is by Ciro Marchetti. I've heard it pronounced 500,000 different ways. I was saying Ciro Marchetti, but then I think it's actually Ciro Marchetti. I've heard people say Chiro. I don't know. It's whatever people want to say, I guess. Heaven and Earth Designs, Birdhouse Gardens by Ciro Marchetti. It is 600 by 420, has 90 colors. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. I really like this. He's one of my favorite artists on Heaven and Earth Designs. I'm doing it with the Call for DMC on a 20 count, easy count Ada, 2 strands, full cross. I'm going to show you where I worked. I don't have a before photo because I am doing something a little bit different with this. And so I counted over to the right-hand corner. So this doesn't have a before photo because I've only worked on it one time in the month of September, and I came over to this corner and I started doing it in a diagonal. So I got to finish that diagonal. And I got 500 stitches on this. This was my starting point, the left-hand corner. So this is the top right corner here, and this is the top left corner over here. So that's the top left corner. And so far I have a total of 6,450 stitches done out of 252,000. That's it, 252,000. I was expecting to say more numbers. And I am at 2.56%. So what I plan on doing, I will pause to say this part. I'm trying not to make this super duper long because I still have a small pile of projects here. But what I will say about this piece is because I'm doing it full cross, I'm okay with my diagonals going every which way. My half cross pieces, I try to have my diagonals coming from the right because my stitches go to the left. In my head, that might help a little bit not showing lines. I don't know. Maybe if you have a lot of confetti in a section, it's going to give you a line no matter what because it's so bulky, but it doesn't matter. This is how I'm going to, that's my thinking. And so what I plan on doing is once I get this particular diagonal right here done, I'm going to count down to the bottom, either bottom, it doesn't matter. And I'm going to do the bottom corner with two, because this is my second, this is the second diagonal. I do 20 stitches wide. So once I finish this, I'll come down and I'll do the bottom corner, 2 diagonals, and I'll come over here and do this bottom corner, 2 diagonals. Oh my God, what's happening? This bottom corner, 2 diagonals, and then I will start rotating through the 3 diagonals until they match the size of this. I had already done this when I decided to start doing that. And so once those corners match this, then I will rotate this diagonal, that one, that one, that one, and they'll just all start coming in like that. And it's going to look really cool. One of my subscribers, who was it? Stitched in Peace, suggested it. Stitched in Peace, I think, suggested it. And I was like, oh my God, that's so brilliant. I want to do that. So I did it. Well, I'm going to do it. Working on it. All right. Trying to get the air out of these to try to flatten them out a little bit because there's so many. Next up is, why did I work on this? Wait, how much did I get? No, this was one of my pulls, one of my weekly pulls. This is Holiday Quaker from Lila Studio. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. I'm using the called for threads. I have this as a Monopoly piece as well, so I was trying to think if this would, but so it's in my current rotation, but it's also like it's in my basket pulls, but it's also a Monopoly piece. So I was trying to remember what I worked on it for, but I'm doing this was for my weekly pull. I'm doing this on a 32 count Lugana in the color Something Blue by Mystic Fabrics. I love her fabric so much. I'm in her Fabric of the Month club, so whenever I get my fabric, I show it. And this got 500 stitches on it in the month of September. So I finished this whole motif right here. I did these 2 here, and I got started on this one up here. I did an upper left-hand corner start. So that's where that one is so far. I think there's probably a few people, if you've been watching me for a long time, you know what the answer is. I think there's probably a few people that if they stumble on this for the first time, they're like, well, why don't you just focus on fewer projects and get more stitches on the fewer projects to get more progress? And my answer to that is because I don't want to. I like working on all these different projects. I like the finishes, but I like working on all the projects too. So something's got to give. And this makes me happy working on all the things. So the quicker progress suffers. Okay, next up is one of my new start rotations, and this is Autumn Angel from, sorry, Yoshi sent me a photo. This is Autumn Angel from Design Works. Oh, and like I said, this was one of my new starts in my new start rotation. So I don't have a before photo because I believe I started this in the month of September. Pretty sure, maybe. No, I think I was trying to see where this was at on my list, but I can't see over that far. Sorry. So yeah, no, this is I started this in September, so I don't have a before photo. I'm doing it with the stuff that came in the kit. It's a 14 count white Aida. And it's designed by Jim Shore. Yeah, it's designed by Jim Shore. So it started in the middle. That's where I'm at with that so far. So when this hits 3,000 stitches, it will get sent away on vacation, and it will get replaced with another new start. I have a lot of pieces waiting to be started that I've been collecting. I didn't just buy everything all at once. I've been collecting all this stuff over the years, and I'm like, let me just go ahead and work out a method to get this going. Okay, next up is from Mill Hill. It's one of my Mill Hill kits, and this is from the Buttons and Beads Spring Series, and this is Sugar Cookie House. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. I think I just showed this in my last video. And this month it got 500 stitches, and I am using everything that came in the kit, including the perforated paper. And that's where I'm at with it so far. This was not a new start. I don't remember how many stitches I had on this beforehand, but that's where I'm at with it so far. It's really cute. I can't wait to get the beads in on this because it's going to look super cute. Oh, yeah, looking forward to that. What did I say, 500? Yeah. Okay. Next up, we're getting there. Next up is my Love to Hate It project. This is from Design Works, and it's called Home Sweet Home. People who have already subscribed to me know why I roll my eyes. I've pulled this project to work on so many times in the month of August. I was getting so sick of it. I'm using whatever came in the kit. So it's a 14 count black Aida. Make sure I show it the right way. And so far this month, not so far this month, in the month of September, I keep saying so far this month of September, it got 509 stitches on it. It probably looks different colors than the before photo because it's hard to take a picture of the pink on there. It usually comes out looking red. So I like the piece. I like how it's turning out, but every time I pull it, I think because I worked on it so much, but this is one of my weekly pulls in the month of, this is one of my weekly pulls that I pull to work on every, God bless, one of my non-full coverage pulls out of my basket, and I pulled it like 3 times, I think, in the month of August. I was like so sick of this thing by the end of August. It's like, okay, next up is from Franny Ritter Designs. Yeah, this is Bake the World a Better Place, And that's what it's gonna look like when it's done. I got the beads in, I ordered the beads. So maybe before I put this away, I will throw the beads in there because they are over on my little rolling cart. And this is one of my work on till it's done pieces. I'm doing it with the called for DMC and the beads on a 28 count Jobelin in the color Coffee by Witch Elf. Not really the biggest fan of Witch Elf fabrics, but I had it, so I'm using it. And this got 514 stitches on it. So I think did I finish off? No, I think I came over here. I did this cupcake right here. It looks like it's not done right here, but it is. And got that word, those 2 words, got these 2 words backstitched, did these 4 hearts right here, and backstitched the bottom 2 hearts. So that's where that is so far. It's actually pretty fun to stitch on. I like it. Okay. Next up is this is one of my Monopoly pieces. This is my jail piece. Little sneak peek of my progress too. This is a whole lot of latte. It's a really old kit by Dimensions. This is one of my projects in the pile of Whip of Shame because it is over 10 years old. I got this in 2007. So it's not as old as my current Whip of Shame, but it's still old. I love how this looks. I love how it's looking so far. I just don't, and it's not the fabric because I'm using the kit fabric. I just, for some reason, I just don't like working on it. So it's in my Whip of Shame because I kept avoiding it. And it's currently my jail piece in Monopoly. So it's like, well, you're in jail. You don't want to be in jail. I don't want to work in this piece. So every time someone's in jail and they don't roll doubles to get out, I had to put 200 stitches on this. My dog is currently in jail on my Monopoly game. So in the month of September, this has gotten 600 stitches on it. That's the whole thing. And they've all been in this blue cup right here. So using the whatever came in the kit, and it's a 14 count black Ada. 14? 16. 16? 18? 14. 14 count black Ada. Like I said, I really like how it's turning out. Like, it's really, really cute. But man, I hate working on it. And I really don't know why. I truly don't know why, because I like the colors. I don't mind working on black fabric. It doesn't bother me. I can see it just fine. I just, for some reason, just do not like working on this thing. Okay, next up is one of the pieces in my New Start rotation. And this is Cherry Blossom Creek. No, this is Cherry Blossom. I have Cherry Blossom and then I have Cherry Blossom Creek. Cherry Blossom is from Blue Fox Stitchery. I'm working on this with Alara and also Blushing Pink Stitches. I believe Lindsay has already started it as well. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. And in the month of September, I put in Cherry Blossom. 600 stitches. Well, I should probably show you the piece, right? I'm doing it 2/1, half cross. That is not the right way. I think this is a 28 count white linen that I had in my stash. And I did 600 stitches on it for the month of September. I am currently at 2,140 stitches done out of 83,325. I am at 2.57%, and I did an upper right hand corner start. So it's all like just pink background, but it looks really neat so far. I like it. I'm not really a big fan of stitching on linen, but I figured I had the fabric. It's going to be a full coverage anyway, so who cares? It's fine. So once that hits a total of 3,000 stitches, it goes on vacation and gets replaced with a new start. All right, next up, trying to make sure I get, hang on. Yeah, okay. Next up is one of my basket pulls, and this is Fairy Tale Cottage by the Cross Stitch Studio. Artwork is by Abraham Hunter. Where is it? Here it is. No. It is $9.79 by 737. It has 133 colors. That is what it's, God, I love that so much. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. This is another one I don't really have a before photo for because I counted over to the right hand corner to start working on it in the diagonal. So I will show you the corner I worked on and then I'll show you the rest of what I have. So 2/1 half cross. Is that the right way? Yeah. That's where I worked on in September. This got 603 stitches last month, and it has a total of 25,234 stitches done out of 721,523, and it's at 3.50%. So that's where I counted over to, and that's scary. That's where I started. So I started in the upper left hand corner because that's usually where I start, but then converting to a diagonal I decided to count over to the right. But that's all the other stitches right there. I can't see you. That's all the other stitches there. So there's so much confetti in that tree, but look how good that looks. I really like this piece. It's in my top 10 for sure of favorite pieces. Oh my God. What's not in my top 10 of favorite things to do is folding up all this fabric. I don't like that. All right. God, now that I've got that whistled, let me move this book out of the way. All right, we're getting there, guys. We're getting there. We're getting close to being done. All right, next up is another one of my temperature pieces, and it's another Stitching Jewels piece. This is Sea Turtle. Here it is, and it is 270 by 150. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. She does have this in a colored version as well, but I'm doing it in black. And hang on. All right. So I'm doing this in 310, and I am doing it on a 2 strands full cross on an 18 count Aida in the color Coastal by Picture This Plus. And like I said, this is one of my temperature pieces. And that is where I'm at with it so far. This got a total of 9, no. Oh, let me show this and then I gotta back up. 900 stitches so far in the month of September. I missed, I should have showed one of my gingerbread things first. But this got 900 stitches in the month of September. So that's what I'm saying, like these 100 stitches here and there, they really add up because this is 900 stitches since September the 1st. So I'm now at 2,801 stitches done out of 8,334. I'm at 33.61%. So I wanted to use this, one of these. I have a couple of them that are like this, where they got like 900 stitches just from doing 100 stitches randomly for temperatures. That stuff really adds up. Like, so if you think, oh, it's just 100 stitches, it's not going to do anything. Well, it does do something, because I was not this far at the beginning of the month. But yeah, 33.61% done with Sea Turtle. And when it gets worked on one more time for the temperatures, it will get replaced with another piece. Okay, let me back up for a minute. I was trying so hard to keep this in order, but so the gingerbread smalls. The other piece I was going to show you is the carousel right here. Same fabric, 28 count even weave in the color Cornflower by Fiber on a Whim. It's all on the same fabric. I'm going to finish them separately. I'm just going to hold it up like that. And this got 798 stitches in the month of September. So basically I started working in this way, and all this is new for the month of September. So yeah. All right. You know, once we hit 1,000 stitches on a project, we'll only have a few left, because I said I did like 5 that's over 1,000. So next up is another temperature piece, and this is a kit from Artiste, and it's called Merry Christmas. And that is what it's going to look like when it's done. And this one has gotten, in the month of September, this has gotten 900 stitches on it. And that is where it's at so far. So the R, the I, and the S are all new. I did all of that in September. Just from doing and that's counting the back stitching. I would have, if I was just doing the cross stitching, it would have been a lot further, but I want to try to do the back stitching as I go. So once the S is completely back stitched, then I would move on to the T. But yeah. And that's just doing 100 stitches here and there whenever its number comes up in the forecast. So I'm making real progress on that. Okay. Next up is sampler 124. And this is from 2x2 Stitch Art on Etsy. Let me find the mock-up. Here it be. So it's charted as a monochrome piece. Give me just a minute and I'll look at the size. It's charted as a monochrome piece. I'm not doing it in monochrome though. I'm doing like this color variation. Give me 1 second. Let me pull up PDF and I'll tell you. Nope. Let me pull up the PDF and I will tell you the size. It is 275 by 275. Okay, so this is another one that was my temperature. So it got 100 stitches here and there when its number came up in the forecast. And this has gotten 900 stitches on it for the month of September. That is where I'm at with it so far. So I'm doing the black, or not the black, I'm doing the border in $37.99. And then I have $38.05 for the pink, $38.35 for the purple, and $37.50 for the blue. And I have this in diagonals in Pattern Keeper. And so I'm doing pink, pink and purple, purple, purple and blue, blue, blue and pink, pink. And then I'm just going to like kind of go through those going down the diagonal. So I got 900 stitches in September. I am currently at 4,810 stitches done out of 39,038, and I am at 12.32%. And I'm doing this on a 16 count white opalescent Aida with 2 strands. All right, now we are in the thousands with the stitch count, so we're almost done. This will be shorter than my last weekly update. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Next up is Hiding Place, and this is from the Cross Stitch Studio. Artwork is by Abraham Hunter. It's 869 by 583. It has 134 colors. This is what it's going to look like when it's done. And I'm doing a 2 strands half cross on a 28 count easy count Lugana. The fabric was stained by me with raspberry tea, not on purpose. No before photo because again, I'm converting my stuff to a diagonal. So I counted over to the right hand corner, and it's hard to see the different colors. There are some blues in that, but it's a tree and it's like sunset. So it's hard to tell, but there are some blues in there. But for September, I got 1,225 stitches on it. And this is the top left corner. So that's the top left corner there. So far, total, I have, we'll look at this side because it's prettier. 11,360 stitches done out of 506,627. I am at 2.24%. So there's that. Okay, next up is one of my focus pieces. This is for my son, and this is for from Stitchman Darcy. So I've been trying to work on it every week, like one day every week until it's finished. And this is Yippee-Ki-Yay. The full title is Yippee-Ki-Yay Motherfucker. And it's a quote from Die Hard. It is 191 by 79. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. And give me one second. I have these and I have them all listed out in alphabetical order, so I got to flip back and forth. I'm doing it on like a 14 count, like, I don't know, ivory, white, Aida. Just something I had in my stash. And that's where I'm at with it. So far, in the month of September, I did 1,834 stitches. I'm trying to do the back stitching as I'm going so that I don't have nothing but back stitching left to do. So I'm trying to like do some cross stitching, then do some back stitching and kind of go back and forth. Cross stitching wise, I do have this in Pattern Keeper, but there is back stitching, so it's not a true count. But so far with the cross stitching, I have 2,441 stitches done out of 6,661, and I am at 36.65% done with the cross stitching. So I'm trying to do the back stitching as I go, like I said, because if I save all the back stitching to the end, I'm going to be hella mad. I'm going to be so irritated. So, all right, next up is my Whip of Shame for the month of September. Now we're getting into the larger numbers. We just have 3 projects left though. Okay, so the Whip of Shame for the month of September was an old kit from Jan Lynn, Designs for the Needle, and this is Goodnight Bears. And so my goal for this was to do 100 stitches a day in the month of September. And if I went over it, it was fine, but I wanted to try to get 3,000 stitches done. And I'm just doing whatever came in the kit. And so in September, this got 3,000, where is it? 3,026 stitches, all in this bear over here and the little shelf it's sitting on. But this bear over here is all new. I mean, you'll see the before picture, but yeah. I enjoyed working on it, doing 100 stitches a day. But there's a reason why these kits are so old, because when I pull it out just to work on it, I'm like, oh God, I don't want to work on this. I want to work on something else. So that's why I rotate through these as a Whip of Shame. All right, we're down to the final 2 pieces. Yeah, this is shorter than my last update. How crazy is that? And there are 2 of my focus pieces. So the first one is Honeymoon Sunset. charted by the Cross Stitch Studio. Artwork is by Abraham Hunter. It is $8.69 by $6.49. It has 133 colors. I show this every week. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. I love it so much. This is my favorite piece. So my goal is to do, my goal is to get it to, now my new goal is to get it to 45% by the end of the year. End of next year. Whoa. And for the month of September, I did, let me tell you, hang on, let me tell you, I think I have the before. I'm hoping, now this one's going to be a little tricky because of how I was taking my pictures, but I think I have a before picture of that corner that I'm working in. And, oh my God, where is it? For the month, I got 3,647 stitches done. And here's the after. I'm kind of showing it like this because I can't remember where I was at the beginning of the month. I really don't remember like which diagonal I was in. And I'll show the whole piece in a minute. I'm currently sitting at 200,206 stitches done out of 563,981. I am at 35.50%. Sorry for the noise. I gotta back the chair up because this thing's big. I can't back up any further. So here's the top half. There's the bottom half. There's the tree from hell. And then going across the top, there's the lighthouse coming in. There's where I'm working at. There's fucking palm trees. There's a gazebo over here that's coming out. I've been working all over the place. I've been working on it for a couple years. And I converted, I think in the month of July, I converted this into a diagonal. So that's why most of my progress is over there now. And then I've worked down that way. I've got parked threads hanging here, there, over here. And just whenever I get over, I'm just leaving them there for right now. Whenever I get over to it, I'll get them worked in. But this is where I've been focusing, is in this corner up here. So I think I might have been further back. I don't remember now. Because I work on this like every week. So I don't remember where I was at the beginning of the month. So when I pull this out to work on it the next time I pull this out to work on it, I'll write down the total stitch count that I currently have and the beginning percentage. So that when I show it at the end of October, I'll be able to give you before and after percentages and stitch counts. But yeah. So. Oh, did I tell you what I'm doing it 2/1 half cross on a 25 count easy count Lugana on the diagonal now. Okay, final piece. It's the final countdown. Okay. My heaven and earth sow. I'm so sick of this thing. I cannot wait until it's done. Side note, Alara finished hers today. Alara is doing this piece as well. And totally stealing her thunder. She finished hers today, but I'll let her show you. She probably already posted on Instagram. But this is a closed stitch along. You can't join it, but they will be doing one next year. I will not be doing it next year. I will not. I am so miserable right now. I am working on this thing to finish it out of spite. I don't like stitch alongs. Like, I like the patterns. I don't like being like, I feel like I'm being forced to finish it only because if I finish it by the end of the year, I get free stuff. Nobody's holding a gun to my head telling me you have to finish it. I don't have to finish it, but I want the free stuff. So I'm like, let me just get this thing done and get it over, because I know that if I don't finish it and I'm like, forget it, I don't want the free stuff, and I set it aside, I will not finish this thing. Anyway, Heaven and Earth Designs, we had 10 patterns to pick from. I chose Merry Mushroom Village Picnic 2 by Amy Stewart. This is a little like snippet out of Merry Mushroom Village Picnic by Amy Stewart. This is 300 by 205. It has 89 or 90 colors. All four, this was divided up into 4 quadrants. So they released a section every quarter. And so all 4 quarters have been released now. And this is going to be a little bit of a sneak peek for my subscribers. Like if you haven't seen me before, this will be new. But for anyone who watches me on a regular basis, this will be a bit of a sneak peek for you because of the progress I've made over the weekend. So this is the one that had the most amount of stitches. I got 7,879 stitches in the month of September. This thing will be finished by the end of the month, or end of the year, not end of the month, end of the year. And this is where I'm at with it so far. So far, 7,879 stitches in the month of September. And so far I have 47,586 stitches done out of 61,500. And I am at 77.38%. And if I can do, I throw stitches in on this thing every day. And I'm doing this I converted this to a diagonal. And if I do 300 stitches a day, and God bless, then I mathed it out and I will have this done by the week before Thanksgiving. So that's exciting. If I can, I'm trying to do 400 stitches on the weekends to just increase that a little bit more. But yeah, if I do 300 stitches a day on this thing, I'll have it done the week before Thanksgiving. And I am so ready for it to be done. I'm doing a 2/1 10th stitch, half cross, whatever, on a 28 count, easy count Lugano. So those are all the projects I worked on in September. Again, 32,831 stitches. That is a combination of full cross, half cross, and back stitching. I know it's a lot. If there are any stats or any kind of information you would like to see in the end of month recap that I don't already go over, that you don't hear about in messing up my hair, if you don't hear about in my updates when I show them during the month, let me know. I think the only really big change is that, not change, but the thing that I'm gonna try to remember to do for the end of October recap will be to write down the starting stitch count and percentage of all the stuff that's in Pattern Keeper. Other than that, I think I went over the information I was kind of intending on, but if you guys have anything else you want me to add, just let me know. And that's it. So take care, happy stitching, get a lot of stitches in. I know I did. And I will see you later on this week for in 2 days actually, today's Tuesday. And I'll be filming a regular floss tube on Thursday. So I'll see you in a few days. All right, take care everybody. Bye-bye.